Good afternoon, Lake Nockamixon Fishing School. It is Thursday, April 23rd, 2026. Beautiful day outside. 74 degrees out right now. Bluebird and sunny for most of the day. A couple clouds here and there. Water temperatures 59 to 61, depending on where you were on the lake. And yeah, interesting day out there, which started with a delay. Unfortunately, I had a onboard charger malfunction and had to delay a couple hours so I could charge my batteries up. So my first trip, that was supposed to be a 5-hour trip, got cut in half to about a 3-hour trip. So from 9 to 12, then did another trip today from 12 to 5. And an interesting day out there on the short day. So let's talk about it. First things first, this is my first day out since Tuesday. Watercolor is a little bit more where I like it. It's still very clear for Lake Nockamixon, in my opinion. If you remember my report from Tuesday, I mean, that water was like absolutely gin clear, disorientingly clear. But caught a couple small ones up shallow, just not impressed with what I was seeing, and ended up going out deep, fishing some bluff walls and some bushes and flipping a jig to catch a couple big ones. And so interesting day out there today. Got out first thing this morning and with a group of 3 people, just looking to just push that shallow bite for all it's worth. Covering shallow water with spinner baits, paddle tail swim baits, vibrating jigs, glide baits, the whole shebang, all of the stuff, the whole kitchen sink, just throwing it at them. And we worked for a good hour up shallow without a single bite. So with that, and can I also just say, it was so busy out here this morning. I mean, I'm actually shocked how many people are out here on a Thursday in the middle of the day. I get it, it's a beautiful day. But you got to share the water. That's what we did. But it made it tough to kind of stake out some of that good juicy area that we were really hoping to hit. I mean, the one spawning bay here, there must have been 8 or 9 boats, and every stretch of shoreline seemed to have a few boats on it. So we just spent about an hour fishing up shallow, not seeing too much. Ended up rounding the corner, going to that section of bluff walls again, going out deep just to poke around and see if I can get on another big one. Like we did on Tuesday, and fished for about 20 minutes or so, and I flipped my Natural Crawl original Menace Baits weedless wobble jig with a green pumpkin Menace Crawl on the back. Flip it right into the heart of the laydown. That's what I love about this jig so much. With that EWG hook, that extra wide gap hook, you can Texas rig your favorite soft plastic trailer, and that's gonna make that bait virtually weedless and snag proof. You can throw that in the middle of the trees where other people are afraid to throw their baits, or right up in the grass, right up in the rocks, like right in the cover and structure where these fish are actually living. And sure enough, I flipped this thing right in the heart of this laydown, fishing 15 foot of water or so, and first drop, lift it up, doink. I'm like, here she is. Set the hook. It's a nice one, a solid 3.5 pounder to start the day. Not a giant, but a big old beautiful pre-spawn Nockamixon largemouth bass, and she was freezing cold to the touch. Now I know it sounds weird when I talk about the temperature of these fish all the time, but when they're freezing cold like that, that tells me they're moving out of deeper water where it's colder. They're moving up towards shallower water where it's a little bit warmer. They're getting ready to stake out spawning territory and stuff. And I mean, it made sense too, because like I said, caught her in like 10 to 15 foot of water there. So yeah, got the first fish out of the way, feeling a little bit better, could take a deep breath, but we still had to get the clients on them. Fish for another hour up shallow, or on those bluff walls there, out deeper, and just not another bump or tap, and decided just to go back up shallow. And some of the boats were just clearing out of the way finally, so decided just to see what would happen if we just staked out some territory and spent the rest of the time up shallow. And fortunately, a client on the back of the boat with a bluegill colored Menace Baits Alive minnow, the 5-inch paddle tail swim bait on the paddle tail hook, ended up catching a nice one, about a 2.5 pounder. Put that in the boat, and we fished for about another hour, and that was it. No more bites, no more action. Surprisingly slow, which, yeah, it was just tough. So now we start our second trip at 12 o'clock, and I don't know what to think. I got some new customers on the boat. My first trip was repeat customers, I should add, and they've caught them with me many times. So just had a lot of pressure to put these guys on fish and start working our way down south. We put in the Tahican boat launch today, by the way, and we're working our way down south. And I hit the first stretch, not a single bite. Hit the second stretch, not a single bite. We go all the way down past the marina. We're like an hour and a half in now. And I mean, to go an hour, 2 hours on Nakamixon without a bite is nothing unusual. But we're about 2 hours in, I'd say. And finally, on the natural shad colored paddle tail swim bait, client flips it all the way up on the bank, like under a bush. And we're just fishing stretches of shoreline with some shallow milfoil grass. But he throws it all the way up there and it sets the hook. It's a big one, 5-pounder. Big old beautiful pre-spawn female bass in a foot of water. Like as far up on the bank as you could have possibly gotten it. That's how far up that fish was. So super cool to see, getting it out of that jam of twigs and brush. Very interesting time. So that was really encouraging and told me that these bigger females might be pushing up shallow. So instead of wasting time out deep again and trying that bite, we could hopefully stake out some territory up shallow. And we just kept working our way down south. We rounded the corner fishing some more shallow milfoil grass, and then I finally get on one. This one is on the bluegill colored Menace Baits Alive pulse jig, so the vibrating jig with a little Menace Baits Alive minnow trailer. The bluegill color though, just working through the grass. It's a 2.5, 3 pounder, another cookie cutter keeper, but glad to have it, feeling good. So now the one client on the back of the boat's got one, I got one, and we just keep working our way. We run way far south across the fishing pier, down past the fishing pier, kind of Deerwood Cove area, and we start working our way back up north. And really from about 2:30, 3 o'clock, yeah, probably about 3 o'clock till 5 o'clock, that's when it started. It was pretty much at least 2 to 3 fish an hour. For the rest of the time, literally until we were making our last cast. I mean, we caught 3 fish in the last couple minutes at the dock as we were putting the boat on the trailer. But definitely the bite kicked on and it flipped on. They were all cookie cutter 2 to 3.5 pounders, so nothing giant. We did have one big one swipe at it at the boat. One client caught a massive pickerel, but all of them were either on the paddle tail swim bait or the vibrating jig. The bluegill color definitely seemed to be most productive. Could not get a bite on a spinnerbait. I had a client rotating on and off with the spinnerbait. I was throwing a spinnerbait around myself. Could not get bit on it. Couldn't get bit on a square bill crankbait. Couldn't get bit on a glide bait. And this is more what we usually see, which the first week or two of the month out here that we were fishing, it was kind of like whatever you were throwing at them was working. We were literally catching them on 4, 5, 6, 7 different baits in one single day. This is what we more characteristically see on Nakamixon, is you have one specific bait shine one day, and the next day, for whatever reason, they just start biting something else. And we're definitely starting to see that more and more, where the vibrating jig put a lot of fish in the boat today. And, you know, there was a day on Tuesday, it was the jig. There was a day last week where it was just the spinner bait. So starting to see that more and more, and I'm encouraged. We have a lot of cookie cutter pre-spawn females moving up shallow. They're all like the same 2 to 3 pound size, but you know there's some big ones in the mix there. We saw like that one 5+ pounder, and we might have had a second one or two. But lots of those big old beautiful chunky blimped up pre-spawners. So ended that trip with about 10 fish, if I'm correct. So we're talking another dozen fish day. I will say, from the hours of like 2 p.m. to 5 p.m., I don't want to say it felt easy, but it felt like things were finally clicking and working, and we were on them, and like I could figure out like, okay, we're gonna catch one here, this guy in the back's gonna hook up. Things were feeling right. So I don't want to say it felt easy yet. I think the best is certainly yet to come still. We have waves of fish that are going to be pushing up, but it's interesting. I mean, in the course of one day, to just really, really be scratching our heads and struggling in the morning, and no one around us is catching fish, and then all of a sudden just things start getting right as the day goes on, and it was interesting because I think this group here from 12 to 5, they were saying, you know, we really wanted to get out with you first thing in the morning, but all you had available was 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. So like, I hope we don't suck it up today. I'm like, well, let me tell you what, sometimes on this lake, you don't have to be out here first thing in the morning. Exactly the case. I mean, the best bite window of the day, certainly 2:30 to 5 p.m. I'm sure if we would have stayed out there, we probably could have kept catching them, but I got to get home and get some dinner. So I don't eat all day when I'm fishing. So I do the 1 meal a day thing this time of year. But yeah, interesting day out there. It started getting fun on us. It's funny that new group from 12 to 5, they started really serious and really focused on catching them, but by 4 o'clock, everyone was having fun and laughing and catching fish, and everyone was hooking up. So good time. Yeah, pretty decent day out there on Nakamixon. What started as a really tough day, what started as a boat malfunction too, super stressful. Man, it's just so easy to get spun out there. Fishing is such a mental game, and you got to keep yourself in it and just keep casting, just keep moving, just keep making good decisions. And sure enough, once the things just line up out there, once the timing gets right, once you run into the right wave of fish, just doing the right things, it all seems to just end up working out. So pretty decent day out there, very content with what we found, and looking forward to how tomorrow's going to play out. We have some more stability in the forecast coming up, but Saturday we got a big storm coming through. It looks like we're going to get like an inch of rain, and it's going to be freezing cold again. So it'll be interesting to see how the weather impacts them, but things definitely seem to be on the upturn, at least here as of this afternoon. I had a customer out there tell me he was whacking them on swim jigs, which is pretty cool. We have on my boat yet to catch one on a swim jig this year, fun fact, which really unusual. There's no reason you can't be catching them on a swim jig now. We just been enjoying catching them on a paddle tail swim bait. Just a little easier for my clients, very, very weedless and snack proof. So take that for whatever you want, but we'll be out there again tomorrow, and I'll let you guys know how we do. Appreciate y'all watching, subscribing. Tight lines. I'll see you out in the water.